Hey guys, Clay and I made some non-spreading sugar cookies. We hope you can use this recipe. We'll put it in the description box below. We started with our softened butter. I use salted butter. I know a lot of people don't. They use unsalted and then add salt. But to me, I'm wondering what the point is in that. If there is a point, somebody please tell me. But I just use salted butter and skip adding salt. We add our granulated sugar. This was Clay's first day to help me do cookies, and so there's the light brown sugar. And so I ended up talking in a couple places more than I needed to. Shouldn't have talked so much, go figure. But he's a great helper, and I enjoy him being in the shop with me. We cream the butter and the sugar together. Once we get that together, this is where I mix it too much because I was explaining some stuff for him. But we add one of the eggs at a time. There goes an egg. We're going to let that cream in just a little bit. Then we're going to add the second egg. Clay really enjoys helping in the shop, and I really enjoy having him out there with me. I'm going to scrape down the sides, and we're going to add in our clear vanilla. I just prefer to use clear because it doesn't darken my cookie dough up when I'm using just the plain sugar cookie dough. We're going to add half of our flour mixture. You can take and make a chocolate sugar cookie by replacing 1 1/4 cups of the flour with a cocoa, and that'll make a chocolate sugar cookie. I use all-purpose flour. I forgot to give him his hand towel on this day. He usually he does a lot of my cleanup, but I forgot to give him his hand towel, so you'll see him start to clean the counter with his hand. Bless his heart. He's such a good boy. We're going to take and add, I'm going to scrape the sides down. We're going to add the remaining flour mixture and mix that in. There he is cleaning with his hand again. Bless his heart. Once we get that all mixed together, I'm going to take parchment paper. I use parchment at this point because it just works for me. I know people do it differently, and whatever way works for you is fine. We are all about non-stress over here. If it works for you, do it. I use the parchment paper because that's what I end up baking my cookies on, so it just saves a step here instead of wrapping it in saran wrap and then pulling out the parchment. So anyway, I dump the cookie dough out on it, and as you can see, it is sticky. I shouldn't have creamed it quite so much, but it worked out fine. The cookies didn't taste, they weren't tough, and so it worked out fine. I take another piece of parchment paper and put over the top of this. Again, it's whatever works for you. If you'd rather wrap it in saran wrap, that's fine. I smash it down flat just so that it'll cool faster. There's really not a reason to do this other than I was kind of in a hurry. I'm always in a hurry just because that's the way I operate. But I put it in the fridge for 2 hours to cool down. Once that has cooled down really well, I take and separate it out into smaller amounts so that I can cut the desired cookie shapes out of it. And you'll roll it to whatever thickness you desire your cookies to be. I'm going to take I only needed circles for this batch, so I'm going to take and cut my cookies. Normally, if I had left it in the fridge long enough, I would be able to pull the scraps up from between these cookies, literally like a sheet of paper. But because I didn't leave it long enough, I had to put it back in the fridge before I could pull that scrap out from between the cookies. I went ahead and finished cutting all my cookies. I put it in a 325-degree oven for 9 minutes. You may need to cook yours longer or shorter, just whatever your oven temperature is and the way it works for you. Here are the cookies. Once they were out of the oven, they were cooling. Once they cooled down, I decorated them, and this is how she had asked for them to be decorated. They were for a baby boy's shower. Just a simple bases with a buttercream icing. You can also make chocolate like I mentioned before. And here are some chocolate cookies, chocolate sugar cookies that I made. Here are also some cookies for a different party. The white ones were for the kids to draw on with edible markers at the party, so I thought that was fun. And here are some I found on Pinterest that I did and thought they turned out really cute. Thanks guys for watching, and I hope you can use this recipe.